Right, morning guys. On this video I'm going to talk about kit again, but not camera kit this time. I'm off to the Cairngorms National Park in Scotland for some wildlife and landscape photography. So I'm really looking forward to this trip. At the moment there's loads of snow over the mountains, there's more snow forecast, and it should be fantastic. The conditions are looking really good. So I'm heading up to Scotland in a day or so to photograph hopefully mountain hares, ptarmigan, crested tits, red deer in the snow. I'm also going to do some Scottish landscapes, you know, mountains with snow on them and stuff like that. So I'm so looking forward to this trip. But what I thought I'd do in this video is go through all the kit I'm going to take, non-photographic kit. So the stuff I'm going to take that's going to keep me warm, comfortable and safe while I'm on the mountains in Scotland in the winter. And there's quite a bit of stuff here. I'm not going to bother going through the photography kit because I've already done videos on my landscape photography kit, my wildlife photography kit, and also a video on the best, I think, things you should look out for in a camera body for wildlife photography. And I'll put links up to those videos at the top of this vlog. So this is all about all the other kit, you know, all the clothes I'm going to take and the other sort of stuff to keep me warm, safe and dry. So I'm going to start off with the clothing. First things first, I'm going to take these base layers. So this is merino wool base layer. So these are the leggings, and this is a slightly bright coloured top, but nobody's going to see it because it's going to be my base layer. And the great thing about merino wool is it's antibacterial, so it doesn't, you know, get too smelly, which is great. And it also wicks any moisture away from the body. So if you're sort of climbing a mountain, you're likely to be sweating a little bit. And then because we're photographers, we stop for a long time waiting for that wildlife or for that light. So these are great because they keep you warm, but they wick the moisture away from the body. So that means when you are still, you're not sort of slightly damp, you know, and you're not going to get too chilled. So merino wool base layers, that's great. Obviously decent socks, really important. So again, I've got a combination of merino wool and synthetic fibres. So again, they wick the moisture away and you know, again, stay sweet smelling for longer. So that's also excellent. So decent socks, because there's nothing wrong, nothing worse than having sort of wet, cold feet. And we're going to come on to boots in a minute. Okay. Then I would wear obviously a t-shirt that again wicks the moisture away. Probably a sweatshirt or a jumper. And then my top layers on the top would be a winter fleece. So this is Berghaus, but there's plenty of other sort of makes on the market, but this is a really good quality, well rated winter fleece for warmth. And then on the top I've got this sort of waterproof outer layer. And the thing with being in the mountains is you need lots of layers. It's much better having lots of layers than sort of one really big thick coat, because as you're walking up the mountains you may get really warm and need to take a layer off and stick it in the bag. But when you're still waiting for those photographs to happen, waiting for the light or the animals to appear, you're going to need extra layers. So, and this is rated to keep dry for about 12 hours, hopefully anyway. Mountain Warehouse wasn't too expensive, but you know, a good quality sort of waterproof outer layer is very important. Yeah, okay. When it comes to trousers, I've got a waterproof set of trousers, which I'm going to go and get in a minute, or right at the end of this vlog, because I forgot to bring them down. But they're waterproof trousers with a fleece lining, but we'll come to that. So that will be something we'll talk about in a minute. Again, when it comes to footwear, really important to have good quality footwear. So I've got these Scarpa boots. Now I've got ordinary boots, walking boots, and I've got these Scarpa boots, which I've just bought actually. And these are rated as a B2 boot. In other words, I can actually fit crampons on these boots, and they've got a really rigid sole, which means that if I wanted to, you know, I could do sort of go up really icy, sort of almost vertical, small stretches of location with crampons on. Now I'm not going to take crampons because I'm not going to need them. We're just going to be going up sort of hills rather than sort of, you know, anything mad like ice climbing. But what I've also got are these guys. So they're not crampons, but they're like a set of metal spikes, and they fit on the bottom of the boot to give you grip. And I'm definitely going to be wearing these because you know, some of the sort of upward areas are quite slidey and slippery. And when you've got either a 600mm prime lens, or I've got my 200 to 500mm zoom lens, the last thing I want to be doing is slipping over with a big lens, you know, because I'm either going to damage myself or damage my camera gear, which I don't want to do. And I'll just show you what it looks like when it's fitted. So there you go. It just literally fits over this really, really quickly and easily. You've got your spikes on the bottom there, and that's going to give me lots of grip when I'm on a slippery surface. So I think these are pretty useful. About 15 quid from Amazon, okay? Full sort of proper crampons, you're probably looking at about £100, but as I say, unless you're going to do some really heavy duty, you know, almost mountaineering, these are going to be fine for what I want anyway. So that's footwear dealt with. Next up would be gloves. We need to keep our hands warm and dry, really, really important. So these are thick, heavy gloves, which I'll be wearing as I'm walking up. And they're great. The only thing is, there's no way in the world with these on you can operate a camera. So what I've also got, and I love these, I've got these for Christmas, are these lighter gloves. And the great thing about these, if I slip one on, is they've got these little bits here. So on the thumb and the forefinger, it comes down so you can still operate your camera. And it's got a little magnet which holds this bit out the way. So that's great as well. And you can spend up to about 80, 90 pounds on these, but I got these for 20 quid off of Amazon, and they've been working fine. I've been using them since Christmas. So I love these gloves, they're brilliant. So that means I can keep most of my hands warm and dry, and just the two little bits out for operating the camera. So again, keeping comfortable when you're doing photography is really, really important, because, you know, if you're cold and wet, there's no way you're going to concentrate on the photography as much as you would have done if you're warm and dry. So it's important to wear the right gear. We lose a lot of heat for our heads. So I've got my traditional woolly hat, which you almost certainly would have seen me wearing. And this is great. But if it's very, very cold, I've also got this one here, which is fleecy. It's a much better heat rating, so it will stop a lot more heat escaping from the top of my head. But it doesn't look great on, so I only wear this as a last resort, really. But I've got it. Right, okay, and then also rufflers. So this is sort of like a, you know, thing that goes over you. I normally wear it without the hoodie bit. I just wear it bunched up around my neck, so that stops the heat escaping from this part of my body. So that's also great. And then last but not least, gaiters. And I normally wear these because it stops all the snow getting into your boots and stuff like this. So this will just fit underneath the boot, wraps around the leg, and it's really great for keeping any water sort of sliding down the inside of your boot, because, you know, I might be trampling up in quite high snow. So that's also very important. Okay, so that's pretty much clothing, apart from the trousers that I'm going to be taking, and the waterproof over trousers, but I'll go get them in a minute. Now I find, because I'm getting a bit older now, walking up mountains, a lot of strain on my knees, so I always take walking poles. So I've got these walking poles. They fold up into a small you know, package in the side of the camera bag, and they're height adjustable, so you can just adjust the height to the size of your body. And walking poles take off or stop about 30% of the strain on your knees, so they're really good for going up, but also for coming down. And I'm just going to go at a camera because the only thing is, at the moment, as they're set up, this is just going to fall into the snow, so you get like a little cup that fits on the bottom, which is better for when you're walking in snowy conditions. So I'll just go and get that. So we've got this little piece here, and that just fits. This piece of rubber bit comes off, this fits over, and then you pop the rubber bit back on again. So walking poles, really, really, really useful. I always take them with me. So that's the keeping the warm and the dry. It's also very important, obviously, to, I think, have a map and compass. Now I know, you know, we've all got GPSs, we've got phones and stuff like that, but technical, you know, tech kit does fail sometimes, so I think it's important to have a map and compass with you. and obviously know how to use it. Learn how to take a bearing and learn how to read a map. So I always take a map and compass because, you know, sometimes the weather can close in. You might be on the top of a mountain, it might be absolutely beautiful weather, sunshine, all good, and then, you know, the weather closes in, you can't see more than a few feet in front of you. You need to be able to find your way off, and the map and compass will help you do that if, you know, your other equipment fails. So very important. But the ability to read it as well is all important too. Right, what else? I always take a couple of dry bags just for putting kit in. Not that important, but a couple of little dry bags to keep, you know, bits and pieces dry. I've obviously got a cover to go over my camera bag. Right, yeah, last but not least, well actually not last, but it's probably unlikely that I'm going to need this, but I've got a survival bag. So it's just a bag that you crawl into if you get stuck on a mountain for any amount of time, and it keeps you warm, or it gives you a chance to keep warm. So they're not very expensive, and I normally take one of these with me. Obviously it depends on the conditions and where I'm going, but if I'm going up reasonably high, then one of these guys is a good addition to your camera bag. They're not very heavy, and they don't take up an enormous amount of space, so they're good. I mean, if you was to strain, you know, an ankle, or, you know, even worse, break a leg, and you need to stay warm until someone can come and rescue you, these will keep you warm. So great. And then one thing I think is very important is if it's snowy, is sunglasses. So I've got these sunglasses, and they block out 100% UVA and UVB light, so they're really good, and it just stops the glare, you know, off the sun. And you know, I'm not grown up enough not to think that wraparounds still look cool. So I don't know what you think about that, but I like wraparounds. So I've got my wraparound sunglasses, really important. And if you're in a blizzard situation, I normally take snow goggles or skiing goggles, because there's no way in the world you're going to be able to see where you're going with all this sort of snow coming into your face. So these, again, dead important if you're in sort of, you know, subarctic conditions like you get, you know, at the top of the Cairngorms mountains, because as I say, things change quickly. Conditions can be great and then go to really bad conditions very quickly up there. So yeah, ski goggles, worth taking with you. Obviously I'll pack a little bit of food and water, because you need to keep hydrated, and you know, you might need a little boost of energy, so a couple of energy bars, something like that is great. And you can either take a water bottle with you or one of these bags. And the beauty of these is you can fill them up. It clips onto your belt or your body, or you put it in a bag, and then you can just suck on this hands-free if you need to. So these sort of, you know, water pouches are quite good. I've not used it. Actually, I normally take a bottle, to be honest, because I'm not going to be hiking for hours and hours. But if you're doing a lot of distance, then these are quite handy. So that's a lot of the peripheral kit. And I want to talk about camera bags now, because I'm going to take a number of camera bags with me, and they all do different jobs. And I think someone asked me about camera bags a few videos ago. So this is what I've got with me, or what I'm going to take with me to the Cairngorms. I've got, first of all, the bag that I use when I'm just taking my 600mm lens and a camera body. And it's a Tamarack bag, so I'll just pop that one up, and it looks like this. And this is a really good bag. So it's big enough to fit a 600mm lens in with a camera body, and there's enough room to put a little bit of food in there, and a 1.4 converter, and, you know, bits and bobs. But the beauty of this bag is you can't fit a lot more in there. So when I'm doing I'm taking my 600mm lens and a body, that's a really heavy lens camera body combination. So the last thing you want to do is be taking more than that one sort of setup. So this makes sure you can't pack too much gear. And you've got little areas here. Let's just open it up for you. So it opens up here. I've got my big lens in here, but the camera, there's enough room here for the camera body, room for memory cards, a few other bits and bobs, and you can put a few bits around the lens as well. So this is great. I love it. It's a Tamarack sort of pencil size type bag. So if I'm just taking my 600, this is the one I'm taking. So we'll pop that down here out the way. The next bag I'm going to take with me is another Tamrock bag, and it's a Expedition 8, and it's a really big bag. And this is great for if I'm taking my 200 to 500, a little bit of landscape kit and my vlogging equipment as well, because I can fit everything in there. And it's this bag here. So, Expedition 8, I love this bag. If I zip it open, you'll see lots of different compartments. I can put my 200 to 500mm lens with my D500 here. I've got room for landscape lenses if I need them. I've got room for my vlogging camera, microphones, all the other stuff. It's got plenty of storage at the top here for memory cards, batteries, all that sort of stuff. We've also got storage at the front here for batteries and memory cards, so that's good. And there's at the front here, there's a laptop compartment. So that's good. I often, though, don't take a laptop up into the mountains with me. What I will do is put my poncho, my camouflage poncho, and again, I've done a couple of videos featuring that poncho. So it's like a camouflaged, almost like a bag hide. Very light to carry, and it fits in this area really nicely. So I love this bag. It's and the thing is, even though it's big and you can pack a lot of stuff into it, it's very, very comfortable. There's loads of padding. So we've got, if I turn it round, let's zip it up first. So we've got padding down the back here, padding here where your spine goes. So this is a really comfortable bag to carry. Obviously we've got shoulder straps here that are adjustable, and you've got a waist strap. And I always tighten up the waist strap because it takes a lot of strain off your shoulders. So this is a lovely comfortable bag to use, even though it can be quite heavy when you fill it up with kit. So that's bag number 2. We'll pop that down there. Okay, and then the last bag I'm taking with me is Vanguard. And I'll take this bag if I'm just doing landscapes. So I can fit a couple of camera bodies, 2 or 3 lenses in, spare batteries, memory cards, all the bits and pieces I need. And I really like this bag actually, because if I just want to get to one camera and lens, I can just, and I don't want to lay this down in a load of mud and stuff, I can lay it like this so the back straps don't get muddy for when I put it on next time. Undo the top, and the top has got like a bucket area. So you just put the camera and lens in there, so it's very easy access. So it's great. So it doesn't mean you have to lay the bag down and get the back of it muddy. When we open it up, got loads of compartments for other equipment, extra lenses. We've got a laptop compartment here. And the other thing is as well, if I've got a camera and a lens in this part here, I've got side access. So again, I can unzip this bit here at the side and get to it from there. So this bag has got really easy access. I love it. It's really good. And then last but not least, if you're travelling, you've got like a little secret compartment here at the back that unzips. You can put your passport and stuff like that in there. So I love this bag. It's brilliant. Really comfortable to wear. Again, you've got your shoulder straps and you've got your waist strap. All adjustable. Great bag. So apart from, in a second, going to get my my waterproof trousers and over trousers just to complete this array, the other thing I'm going to take up with me, because there's a lot of snow forecast on my journey up, is snow chains. And I've got these guys here. And again, you know, probably I'm not going to need to use them. Hopefully I won't. But it does mean that if I do get stuck, I've got the snow chains. And these are really good because they're self-tensioning. So once you put them on, they tighten themselves up. You don't have to stop and retension the snow chains. So again, I think that's sensible. Hopefully I won't need them, but they're there if I do need them. So yeah, what I'm going to do in a second is cut this video and go and get my, my over trousers and my waterproof trousers, which just completes the setup. Right, okay guys, I'm back. Waterproof trousers. So I've got these ones here. So these are waterproof, and the lovely thing about these trousers as well is they're sort of fleece lined, so they keep you really warm and really dry. So base layer first, and then these trousers over the top. And then if it looks like it's going to be really wet, or I'm laying in the snow, I'll also put on a set of over waterproof trousers. And they're here. So they'll go over the top. So I've got stacks and stacks of layers on. I'm going to be looking a bit like a Michelin man, you know, sort of with layers after layers, but it means I can take the layers off if I get hot, and I can add layers if I get cold. And obviously waterproof layers are very important, because not only, you know, might it rain or snow, I'm going to be probably laying in the snow as well, because I want to get down low to photograph my subjects. And then kit wise, I'm taking with me a landscape kit and a wildlife kit. So I'm going to take my 600mm lens, my 200 to 500mm lens, and a 1.4 converter, plus my D500 camera body. And then landscape wise, I'm going to take my full frame camera body, 16-35mm lens, 24-70, 70-200, and an array of filters, graduated filters, ND filters, stuff like that. But as I say, I don't want to go into the actual camera kit, because I've done that on previous vlogs. So, you know, look, that's about it. I'm so looking forward to getting up to Scotland. You know, winter conditions up there are superb for photography. I've got 2 friends that are already up there. One friend's been up there for 3 weeks. He's rented a cottage, and one of my other friends is up there with him, and I'm going to go and join them in a day or so. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I might take 2 days to travel up there, because it's quite a long trek from Essex, so I might stop off sort of, you know, on the way somewhere around about the Leeds area and break the journey up into 2 bits. But I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to the photography. I'm looking forward to the wildlife, I'm looking forward to the landscapes, and I'm so pleased that it looks like there's going to be plenty of snow when I get there, because, you know, you never know. But yeah, it's looking great. Now, just before I go, I just want to mention 2 things. Firstly, all the kit, including the camera bags that I've talked about today, I've bought myself. I'm not endorsing any of this kit, it's just stuff that I use and I like using. Okay, so nobody's paid me to review this. I don't do reviews on my channel. I just talk about the gear that I personally bought and I personally use. Okay, so all the stuff is mine and I paid for it myself. And secondly, this is not a mountain safety video. Okay, I'm not an expert. I've done a couple of mountain safety courses, a winter course, mountain safety course, and a map reading course, but I'm not a mountain safety expert. So if you are going into the mountains, you need to work out the sort of gear that you need to take to keep you safe. But this is the sort of stuff I'm taking, okay? But I'm not endorsing this, and I'm not an expert. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so, you know, looking forward to the trip, and all I'd like to say now is I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. It's slightly different again, but I think it's great to talk about the kit we're using, and hopefully, you know, it'll come in useful. And if you have enjoyed this video and you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you can consider subscribing, that would be great. And if you can press the little like icon and maybe share the video, that would be brilliant. Oh yeah, and if you do subscribe, if you press the little bell icon, you'll be notified when my next video is uploaded. So yeah, that's about it. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to be shooting some vlogs, all being well, from the Cairngorms, so I hope you join me on those ones. And I'll say bye for now, folks. Yeah, till the next one. Speak to you soon.